Hasan Piker and Susan Benjamin of CodePink just got subpoenaed by the federal government over their involvement with, I guess, the Cuban officials. According to the federal government, they were breaking the sanction rules and restrictions that were applied to them, which is very funny because I thought from the very beginning that their entire actions over in Cuba were nothing more than an example of, number one, blind progressive activism, number two, propaganda, just ultimately. If you've seen any of the content that was released in his documentary, quote unquote documentary, the people that he interviewed, they were just pro-Cuba. There was not a single commenter or person that he interviewed that had a single negative comment to be made about the Cuban regime. And so when you look at the entire film, you see the leaked footage from cell phones of the events, of the partying that they were doing in Cuba, with CodePink, with Susan Benjamin, etc. Hasan Piker was out there partying with electricity, and there was footage of the barrios around them completely in darkness. When you have all of that evidence, what does that even show? It shows to me that, number one, or primarily, CodePink, Hasan Piker, they were simply there for a propaganda run. They were not there for the betterment of the Cuban people. They brought aid, but ultimately it was just enough to make it seem as though they were doing something. But ultimately, when the footage came out, the partying during a blackout, them staying at a 5-star hotel instead of staying with locals, they made a bunch of these decisions themselves, and it was up to them to really determine whether or not it was going to be good optics wise to be doing all of these things, and yet they still did it anyways. They did all of that, and on top of that, still made the propaganda film. So I think it was absolutely right for the federal government to subpoena Hasan Piker and also Susan Benjamin of CodePink. It was absolutely right because we must see exactly what was going on. Were they paid? What kind of restrictions did the Cuban government apply to their footage? Was the Cuban government involved at all in manipulating the footage or manipulating narratives? This is something that they must disclose to the American people, and it's essential that Democrats and progressives get on board with this disclosure. This should not only be a subpoena for a betterment of the understanding of what's going on for the government, but I believe the people have a right to know, and people should request the government to release this information publicly. Hasan Piker and Susan Benjamin must disclose every single thing about that documentary, the production of it, and exactly what happened at their time in Cuba. But anyways, my name is Luis Rosales. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.